Welcome to the world of Darius Blackman romance. My name is Brian Frazier, and I write under the pen name Darius Blackman. Welcome back to Darius Blackman Publishing, where we go beyond the cover and take readers inside the characters, themes, relationships, history, and deeper meaning behind my published work. Today we are entering the world of Crown After Midnight, Oakland Moon, Book 2. This is the continuation of Roman Grier and Dr. Candace Munro's story following the events of Hope After Dark. It is a grown Black romance, a supernatural suspense story, a crime saga, and a story about family inheritance, dangerous rooms, public pressure, and the cost of refusing a crown that already knows your shape. The dedication says this book is for readers who know love can stand beside danger and still choose the morning. Because Crown After Midnight is not simply about gaining power. It is about deciding what kind of power should be refused. It is about what happens after two people survive the first battle, choose one another, and realize that choosing love does not remove the world surrounding them. Sometimes choosing love is what causes the world to reveal itself. The first book, Hope After Dark, asked what happens when desire, secrecy, power, and old debts collide inside Club Hope. Crown After Midnight asks a different question. What happens after hope changes the room? What happens when love has been spoken, but power still expects obedience? What happens when Roman Grier says he does not want the crown, but the crown refuses to accept his answer? And what happens when Candace Munro realizes that loving Roman does not only mean standing beside the man he is trying to become? It also means confronting the systems, families, debts, bloodlines, and hidden agreements that benefited from the man he used to be. This story begins only hours after the ending of Hope After Dark. The city is attempting to return to normal. Berkeley sits beneath its streetlights as if nothing has happened. Reporters have left marks on the sidewalk outside Candace's office. Her plants have been watered. Monday appointments have been moved. The ordinary world is trying to resume, but the night is not finished. Candace receives a call from Deja Gaines, one of the older women carrying pieces of the history everyone else has tried to bury. Deja tells her that the old book has written something new. Oakland found hope. Sacramento kept the crown. That sentence sends the story north. It tells Candace and Roman that what happened inside Club Hope was not the end. It was only one room. Oakland may have found hope, but somewhere in Sacramento, another structure has preserved the authority, memory, and debt tied to the crown. Roman has just promised Candace no crown. He has promised that he will not return to the old method of control, force, ownership, and command. But the night immediately tests that promise. A woman may be in danger. A black car is waiting outside her home. Roman has people who can move quickly. He has contacts, resources, influence, and the kind of power that can make official systems feel painfully slow. This creates one of the central tensions in the book. Dirty power does not survive only because it looks evil. Sometimes it survives because it looks efficient. When someone may die before morning, procedure does not feel romantic. Witness does not feel fast enough. Consent can feel slower than command. Roman understands that. Candace understands it too. Their disagreement is not between a good person and a bad person. It is between two people trying to decide how to act quickly without rebuilding the exact system they are trying to destroy. Roman tells Candace that he is not trying to move like a king. He is trying to keep an old woman alive. Candace tells him that the crown wants him to prove he can move faster than Witness. Roman answers that Witness will not stop a bullet. Candace tells him neither will being worshipped. That exchange shows why their relationship works. Candace is not trying to make Roman weak. She is trying to make sure strength does not become an excuse for ownership. Roman is not trying to dismiss Candace's boundaries. He is trying to protect people using the tools he has spent his entire life learning to use. Both of them are right. Both of them are incomplete. This is not a romance where one character exists to correct the other. It is a relationship where both people have to learn how to tell the truth without turning truth into a weapon. The manuscript says that this is the part nobody puts in love songs: the sentence after the boundary, the breath after the correction, and the labor of not letting truth become a weapon simply because it is sharp enough to win. Real love also requires repair. It requires two people to survive the conversation after one of them says no. Roman and Candace are learning how to stand beside each other without disappearing into each other. Roman has spent much of his life solving problems through movement. If motion were a country, the book says Roman Greer would have held citizenship there before he learned to spell his own name. He moves because movement kept him alive. He commands because hesitation once had consequences. He controls rooms because uncontrolled rooms taught him pain. But now he is trying to become a different kind of man, not harmless, not passive, not powerless, different. He is learning the distinction between being useful and being worshipped. He is learning that asking is not weakness. He is learning that standing beside someone is different from stepping in front of them every time danger appears. Candace sees the work. That matters. She is not waiting for perfection. She is watching practice. There are moments throughout the book when Roman stops himself. He asks where he should stand. He asks whether he should move beside someone or behind them. He accepts correction without turning every boundary into humiliation. These may seem like small actions, but for a man built around command, they are major acts of character. Roman's transformation is not announced. It is demonstrated. He remains dangerous. He remains capable. He remains a man who can influence people and rooms. But now he is asking what his power is for. Is it for his identity? Is it for his pride? Is it for control? Or can it serve witness, protection, and truth without demanding ownership in return? Candace faces a different test. She is trained to listen, analyze, identify patterns, and understand the hidden meaning behind what people say and what they avoid saying. But Crown House is not a therapy room. The old systems inside it do not respect professional language merely because it is intelligent. Candace enters spaces where women's testimony has been dismissed, repackaged, categorized, and sometimes called trauma because powerful people find traumatized easier to tolerate than truthful. One of the most powerful scenes centers on Monica Bell. Monica says, "I was 9, not blind." That line is important because it confronts a pattern many survivors understand. People often reduce a woman's testimony to trauma when they do not want to confront what she actually witnessed. Calling her traumatized may sound compassionate, but it can also become a polite method of calling her unreliable. Candace refuses to allow Crown House to do that. She says the room will not reduce Monica Bell's witness to trauma while standing inside the building that made her carry it. Candace's notebook responds with a rule. A rule can be broken by asking who it protects. That question becomes one of the moral keys. Who does the rule protect? Does it preserve evidence? Does it protect a witness? Or does it protect the institution from accountability? Rules often present themselves as neutral, but they are not neutral if they only become strict when vulnerable people begin speaking. Crown House has rules: no weapons, no police, no uncontrolled witnesses. Candace asks what they are actually built to protect. Roman understands controlled rooms because he has built them. Marlon and Camille understand controlled rooms because their authority depends on them. The women understand controlled rooms because those rooms were used to decide which pain could be heard. Candace's challenge is to expose their purpose. The crown in this book is not only a physical object, it is a system of expectation. It is inherited authority. It is the belief that certain bloodlines are entitled to rule because history has already shaped the seat for them. It is power that knows your measurements before you enter the room. Roman is treated as a possible debt heir. His father's choices, the Greer name, and the roads built before him all attempt to define his future. The crown does not care whether Roman wants it. It believes wanting is irrelevant. That is how inherited systems operate. They tell people that history has already decided. Roman tells Garland, "You keep trying to make me my father." Garland answers that Roman keeps pretending he is not. Roman's response is one of the most important lines. "I am trying to tell the truth without becoming a monument to it." A monument cannot grow. A monument cannot repair. Roman wants something more difficult. He wants truth without worship, responsibility without inherited domination, power without the crown, love without ownership. That conflict gives the romance its deepest weight. Candace does not love Roman because she believes he is secretly innocent. She loves a man who is trying to become honest. There is a difference. Innocence is simple. Honesty is labor. Honesty requires Roman to name what he inherited, what he benefited from, what he used, and what he must refuse. Candace has to decide whether love can stand beside that process without becoming responsible for completing it for him. She cannot do Roman's work. She can witness it. She can challenge him. She can stand beside him, but he must choose. That is why the book's dedication speaks of love standing beside danger and still choosing the morning. The morning matters because night can make everything feel urgent. Morning asks what remains when the immediate threat has passed. Can they practice the same honesty over breakfast that they practiced while trying to survive? One of the chapter titles is Breakfast Before War. That title captures the emotional structure. Food represents care that does not need to become spectacle. It reminds everyone that survival is also about maintaining the small practices. The older women in this series are not decoration. They carry knowledge. They use humor because humor is one way people refuse to let terror control the room. Deja is a strong example. When emergency workers arrive late, she responds, "Baby, you late." That line contains a serious truth. Official systems are often late. The mother's work becomes one of the most important themes. The systems surrounding the crown were built on labor that was often hidden: laundry, cooking, caregiving, witness protection performed without titles. Women carried the names, washed the shirts, hid the ledgers. Powerful men claimed the crown, but women kept the civilization alive. The shirt at the center of the story becomes supernatural witness. It reacts. It reveals connections. At one point, a name tag rises from the cloth like a small black tooth. The book says, "Proof had teeth." That line defines the difference between private pain and public evidence. The old system starts losing its most important weapon: isolation. Crown House built rooms without witnesses. The street answers with windows. That image is central to the novel. Every porch light that comes on is a form of resistance. Every neighbor who looks outside becomes harder to erase. Every public recorder makes it more difficult for authority to rewrite the event later. Witness is not passive. Detective Ward understands this. He records details carefully. He names attempted evidence seizures. His discipline becomes a counterweight to chaos. Ward does not treat procedure as sacred merely because it is official. He uses process to stop powerful people from owning the record. Procedure can also protect witness when practiced honestly. The same principle appears in the supernatural ledger. The ledger is not simply a book containing numbers. It is made from obligations, routes, names, bloodlines, debt, and living relationships. Anyone may carry it, but only recognized authority or a debt heir may be able to close it. That creates a dangerous temptation. The easiest solution would be for Roman to accept the role, become the crown, close the ledger from the throne, but Candace refuses that logic. She says, "No one closes the ledger by becoming what it recognizes." Systems often offer reformers a seat, but can a system truly be ended by giving it the air it wanted? Candace believes the record must answer to the names it tried to use. That means the solution cannot be built only around Roman. It must include the witnesses, the women, the families, the names, the people turned into debt. The group that forms around Roman and Candace looks like a family argument with legal consequences. They are wounded, funny, experienced, together. Roman survives Crown House not because he proves himself stronger than everyone else. He survives because everyone holds something. Ward and Mac hold him. Candace grabs his jacket. Deja holds Monica. Everyone holds something. No one clean. Together they pull Roman out. The crown promises singular power. The story answers with collective survival. Crown House begins to fail when people stop accepting its categories. The supernatural cannot be dismissed because too many ordinary people have seen it. But the supernatural does not replace human responsibility. An inherited curse does not remove choice. Every mystical element is connected to something human beings decided to do. Responsibility remains at the center. Holy names appear on locked systems. The language of charity becomes cover for roots built to carry secrets. This makes the book larger than a single haunted house. It is about infrastructure. Power is not only a person sitting at a table. Power is the route between the table and the road. It is the vehicle, the phone call, the secret. Throughout the story, mourning changes people. Mourning makes cowards brave. Night allows people to tell themselves they were confused. Mourning removes some of those excuses. It makes private terror harder to maintain. But mourning does not automatically create courage. People still have to choose. Repair matters, but repair is not being declared clean. Roman and Candace's love does not remove danger. It gives them a place from which to choose differently. Roman is not only refusing a title, he is refusing an entire theory of manhood. The theory says a man proves love through control. Roman is trying to build another model, beside, listening, using power without requiring worship. When the locked doors open only an inch, Ward says he can work with an inch. That represents the movement toward freedom. Thank you for joining me for this deeper look into Crown After Midnight. Visit DariusBlackmanPublishing.com to explore the Oakland Moon series. Leave a comment. Would you accept a crown to protect the ones you love, or refuse it? And remember, love can stand beside danger and still choose the morning.